Sean Franklin here for Combat Press. I'm joined by CEO of World Series of Fighting, Carlos Silva. Carlos, how you doing?
I'm good. Nice to see you again.
Okay, it's great to see you. Okay, so we're in Las Vegas for World Series of Fighting 30, but before we do it, the shirt that I have on is no mistake. There's a reason why I'm wearing it. Obviously, MMA is now regulated in New York City, and also there was a report by MMA Junkie that you guys have signed a letter of intent to purchase the MMA World Expo. Just let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, what that means, and then we'll get into maybe the logistics.
So we've been working with the MMA World Expo for 2 or 3 years, and have gone there. Ray was actually there. David Branch was there. I was there last year, just sort of supporting the MMA World Expo. Paul Payon runs it and is a partner of ours, and so we've worked with them in the past, and so we've been talking to them about folding it into World Series of Fighting, along with some of the other things, coming off of the big news with UFC leading the way and really making it happen over the last 8 years to make New York happen. They made it happen for all of us, and so we're just kind of gathering our resources as one of the other national promotions, and the MMA World Expo seemed like a great opportunity. It kind of fits into a little bit of what I talk about, which is it's not just about the 12 or 14 or 16 events that World Series of Fighting has every year. It's also everything in between, and it's what the fighters are doing, and it's showing them as athletes, and it's seeing what their training and their fitness is about, and that's really what the MMA World Expo is about too, including products and exhibitions. And so we think it's a great opportunity in the Javits Center, which is such a great location, to do something with them, and so we signed a letter of intent to possibly acquire them later this year.
Now, what does that change in terms of what you guys are looking at long term? Is it something that do you like where their expo falls in the year? Would you maybe look at changing that, or does it just kind of everything make sense?
Yeah, honestly, gotten that far. It's been in December. I was actually there last year during the motorcycle show, so there was a lot of traffic with the motorcycle show and the expo. Maybe it stays at that time of year. I don't really know yet. I mean, we just literally announced it today, and now we got to look at what it means to really fold it in and understand what an acquisition would mean, and that's something that's in process, so I can't really talk about that yet, but hopefully it'll be sorted out by the end of the year.
Sure. Well, obviously, just from a 30,000 feet kind of thing, it's perfect with the regulation, and now here's something that's already pre-existing in the marketplace in the area. So yeah, just from that level.
Yeah, and we opened a small office on Lexington Ave about 3 months ago, and so we've got a presence in New York. I've got a couple of our board members, Mike Stevens and Mark Ford, that are also in New York, and so I'm up there a lot. Obviously, all the agencies are there. I'm going to be there next week, meeting with some folks, and so it's nice to have an office. It's nice to be in these, have this agreement in place to hopefully work through the logistics of folding MMA World Expo into World Series of Fighting. So we're excited about it.
A lot of exciting things going on in the promotion. So we're back in Vegas. I talked to Ray earlier. I'm sure you guys know this. This card marks this gives Hard Rock the lead as far as most visited venue for World Series of Fighting. So cool, huh? So how important is this? I mean, last time we were in Vegas, or you guys were in Vegas, it was over at
Planet Hollywood.
Cosmopolitan.
No, Cosmopolitan.
So now we're back here at Hard Rock. So how important is being in Vegas for you? I mean, you guys are based here.
Yeah, we're based here, and no matter what anyone says, I mean, Vegas is the fight capital of the world. It has been since I was a kid, when I would watch Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, or Hagler, or any of those great fights from back in the day too. So we're always excited to be in Vegas. A lot of the fighters love to fight in Vegas. They want to put it on their record that they fought in Vegas. Some of our talent wants to come and help us out more in Vegas. So it's great. But we've done some great things this year. We were in Memphis early this year. We were just north of Denver. We were down in Irvine. And so we're trying to, go to some other interesting cities. We're looking at Seattle. We're looking at Chicago. We're obviously looking at New York for later in the year or early next year. And so I think Vegas is always something that everyone comes back to, and maybe you come back as a staple, once a quarter. But there's a lot of great cities. Look, I'm born and raised in Washington D.C., so I'd love to do something in D.C. and there's a lot of great venues there too, along with a lot of the support from the military. So we're looking at all those things in 2016 and 2017. I'll
get you out of here with kind of half a compliment, half a question. So I want to just say that the social media presence currently, and I'll throw a couple of names out. I'm sure I'll miss some, and you can kind of fill in the blanks. So Karen, Sean, Chris, Joey Varner, those folks, what they're doing on social media right now is fantastic, because I was sort of there for the infancy of it, and as it's amazing. No one else is doing it in the marketplace. What are your thoughts on how that's sort of evolved?
Well, when I came here, I made it clear that I didn't want to run an event company. With our partners with NBC, we had the TV side intact. We didn't have much of a digital presence. That's a big part of my background in launching television networks and building media platforms. So I saw World Series of Fighting as a promotion that was also about great fighting, but also as the ability to build a live sports league that took advantage of all these multiple platforms, social, streaming, everything that the fighters are doing in between their fights. And that's what we've been building. I think the foundation has just sort of started, and now we're starting to see the beginnings of those with what's happening on social, with a lot of stuff we're doing on Facebook Live, and giving the fans the ability, and our sponsors the ability to work with our fighters as athletes and really get them out there more than just on NBC Sports Network, which is our great, that's the fireworks, and then we've got to keep it going in between those 30 days in between our fights. And that's how we do it. We know how to do it. These folks have worked for me for years, from going all the way back to AOL Time Warner when we built lots of big websites. And so we know how to do it, and now we're just applying our craft from the last 15 years to World Series of Fighting. I think so far so good.
I think so far so great. And when I watch it, just from a fan, before anything else, I'm a fan. I'm sure on some level so are you. But watching it, is it what you expected it to be? You're a guy who's got you don't get to where you've gotten in life without having big ideas and the ability to then follow through on them. But when you watch it, do you think, like when I watch a half an hour of David Branch and Joey Varner, I'm like, this is, how do you not geek out on this as a fan? Just from a viewership perspective, when you watch that stuff, do you think, wow, this is like we're doing something here?
Yeah, I'm a part of some of those, which is fun. We did one when we were outside of Denver, and I think we got 20,000 viewers on Facebook Live. With Chael was hosting it, so it's great because he's got such a great following. But it's the stuff that makes then the broadcast so special. Absolutely. Because in between all of that, you get to know not just World Series of Fighting, but the fighters, what's happening, where they came, something about an injury. I was on the radio with John Fitz yesterday. He was talking a little bit about his fitness and nutrition. I'm a big fitness and nutrition guy too, so it was very interesting how he's eating differently, and he got ready for this fight a little differently. And he didn't have much weight to lose to get to weigh in because of the way he was training and eating. And so I think it's all of those things combined to then remind everyone to watch tomorrow night on NBC Sports Network, because you're tracking it every day. And that's what World Series of Fighting is about. It's about creating that destination for fighting, and talking about what great things maybe Conor is doing, or the next fight that they're going to have, or the great fight that might be coming up on Spike on Bell. It's okay. Like, all of that is part of the fabric of fighting, and we're very pleased to be part of that fabric. And I think that sort of sets us apart, because we've got that digital and social stuff in our blood, because we've done it for a long time.
There you have it, folks. He's the CEO of the World Series of Fighting. He's Carlos Silva. Carlos, I'll pay you the same compliment that I paid Ray. A lot of great things are going on in the promotion right now. Everything looks fantastic. I'm super excited about tomorrow night's card. It will be on NBC Sports Network, 11:30 in the East, 8:30 in the West. Don't miss it. Like Chael says, you don't have to pay for a thing. It's free and it's live tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.